mate?
It's arse.
That's what I said.
Ass. Ass?
Arse.
Okay.
No,
Not ass.
It's arse. He's coming back after 20 years and I'm crapping myself. An old flame steps back into town and now you know why we're talking about what we are. We are the fattest we've ever been, with 50% of all Australian adults bordering on obese. Heinz is here just for the start of things. The real question is, how do we motivate Frank and Francis Fat-Arse from Frankston to become healthier? It's arse. Very rude, okay. And the last letter tonight, clumsiness is a form of self-centred, indulgent behaviour. Is that right, Heinz? Yeah, Heinz reckons. All this and a full load of panellists when we come back in about 20 seconds. Don't go away, sweet and sour.
What a miracle be nice. Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
How's about some chili?
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Oh, we got to hide that one. In a moment. We don't see that. Gary Mitchell with you for the next, thank you, Paris, for the next half hour. The guests tonight, first up, hello, Mark Reddings.
Gaz, good to be with you. Just had a little pre-show lesson about the social media, which I'm going to get my head around: tweeting, Facebooking,
you and me both.
LinkedIn, whatever that means, I'm right across it now. The lady on my left has helped me with that one.
Oh, the lady on your left, who is? Hello, Tenille Bentley.
Hello.
Now, can you help me as well?
I can help everyone.
Oh, because I'm a...
Or are you beyond help? I don't know.
I don't know. You're on Facebook, Mark.
Yeah, but I don't. I've got no idea. In fact, my interest level is minimal, but I'm happy to learn because my children, I'm sure, will jump on in the near future and I'll be dragged along for
How
the
old
ride.
are the twins?
They're only 10, too young for that, but we'll wait
All
and
right.
see.
Oh, yeah, I know.
4 years.
Can they teach you at 10? Can they impart the knowledge to their dad?
They already are.
Oh, OK. You've got a job ahead of you with us, too.
I do, bring it.
You realise that? Yeah. Perrie Taylor, welcome back.
Hey Mitch, how are you?
I'm really well. You've just been on a movie shoot.
Yeah, the Henry and Aaron's 7 Steps to Superstardom.
What did you do in there?
Production design.
Any good?
Fantastic production design.
When does it wrap up and when do we get to see it and where will it be?
We wrapped today and
Wow.
it's going on Movie Extra on Foxtel in early June, I think, and YouTube, Facebook, Henry and Aaron. There's a plug. There's a plug.
Isn't that amazing? lots of half-hour and movies and whatever are going straight to the internet.
Oh, it's a web series. They're 5-minute episodes.
I didn't even know there were things
punchy and
called
it's
web
fun.
series. What, a whole production and it's a web series?
Yeah.
Max Kay, have you ever heard of these web series?
No, I haven't, but I'll tell you something. This is the first time I've sat next to somebody who's really intelligent.
On this show, anyway.
On this show. Can I just tell you, I knew I was coming back last time I left here. I knew I was coming back close to winter. Because I heard the floor manager say it'll be a cold day before he's back here again. That's what he said.
Maxie, you're now the president of the National Trust.
National Trust, W.
El Presidente?
Yes.
Ooh.
Preserving heritage for our future, for the future generations.
And does Perth have a lot of...
Yes, we have a lot of heritage stuff.
Now, speaking of preserving things that are of heritage value...
Yes.
Oh,
God.
What year is this from? There we are.
And what were you? Were you wearing something under that kilt?
No,
Max?
nothing under the kilt.
What year was it, Max?
I can't... 70...
The sound engineer loves this song, obviously.
77 or something like that.
Can we sing that song as we leave?
No,
the
actually, there's
show
two
tonight?
that I wrote on that.
You wrote songs?
I wrote 2 songs.
Are
on
they
that.
comic songs?
Yeah, no. One of them is one's a love song. You can tell that she's from Scotland. That's
you can
one.
tell that's a love song. You can tell she's from Scotland.
And the other one, Things I Didn't Say.
While Max is indulging, we'll actually go on with the letter. I think we'll play some more of that from Max Kay a little bit later. He's coming back after 20 years. That's not Max and his album.
Me, I'm coming back.
That's the
You can buy
Letterama
that for
situation.
$2.50.
Union tour.
He's coming back after 20 years. I'm crapping myself. He was my soulmate, but he shifted state to pursue his career, and after 2 years of our interstate relationship, he took up with someone else, got married, had 2 kids, divorced last year, and now he sent me a message to say that he's popping into town briefly in the next couple of weeks and would love to have a coffee. Now, we did have a coffee about 10 years ago when he briefly waltzed into town, and we were both in relationships at the time, although I've never been married. But I was miserable for days after that get-together as I didn't want it to end. I think I never really got over him and the closeness we had. I've never been able to capture that again with anyone else since. I don't know how to handle this. I'm a mess. I don't know whether to even meet up with him. How do I play it if we do meet up? I'm anxious, I'm excited, I'm worried, I'm just woeful, writes Janice of Maroubra, New South Wales. Perrie, straight to you. What do you say to Janice Maroubra?
Oh, heavens. Well, it seems like he still cares enough to make contact if he's going to throw an SMS out there. And perhaps you need to open up the lines of communication. That's important. Talking to each other. And does he know the impact that he's had on her, and has she considered that maybe she's had that effect on him?
Does she actually tell him about the impact that he's had on her life over the last 20 years?
Communication, people.
Might
Let's all
scare
talk.
some blokes off, I don't know.
But still, I think it's...
Still what? Openness and cast it out there, see what you're
Yes, exactly. If she casts it out there and is honest, it's either going to happen, he's going to appreciate the honesty, or it's going to end, and...
One way or another, she'll know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wouldn't you like that?
I don't know. I don't know whether she wants it to end either, because she didn't want the last one to... Wait, Maxie, what do you say here?
But she's woeful.
She is woeful.
For one thing, I want to say there's nothing more appealing to me than a lady who says she's crapping herself. I find that so appealing. One wants to really commune with a person like that. Let me say, darling, you've been on, off, over, and you haven't seen him for 20 years. First of all, he may be totally different. But if he's not, you're not married yet. Take a chance. What have you got to lose? If you don't get married now, and you obviously are around about middle age, I would assume, take a chance. The guy is divorced. He may have changed. You've got this one chance. Get there, speak to him. You may hate each other, but on the other hand, you may love each other. And if you do, get it going. Get it on.
Tenille, take a chance or take it slowly?
Yeah, look, I think... Look, worst case scenario, you can just pretty much Facebook it if you get stuck.
Straight back to the social
Straight to the
media.
social media. And when in doubt and it turns out crap, whack it on Facebook.
Tweet goodbye, never to be seen
that's
again.
it. But no, look, really, 1 out of 8 couples do marry on social media, so you might,
Really?
you might miss him. He might get snapped up again.
Yeah, 4 out of 8 though end up lunatics and stalkers and horrible,
Yeah,
very
look,
strange relationships.
I think there's a small window of opportunity, but you've got to ask yourself, okay, I'm feeling a little bit woeful about it. It sounds like you're thinking too much.
Overthinking?
Too much thinking. Just go for it, see how it feels. Maybe that's the reason he left you in the first place to go and get married with someone else, was that maybe you just overthought too much emotion into that.
Chase him away again.
Play it cool. Just go see him. Play it cool. And then just see what happens. And like I said, worst case scenario, whack it on Facebook.
Marcus, how long have you been married?
It's a life sentence. I'm half about 10 years through it, so I'm just working my way into, I think, the second decade of that. But absolutely.
Do you get time off for good behaviour?
I hope so, Max.
Yeah,
I haven't actually been that well behaved, so I've got to actually work up to that. So I'm
Okay.
trying to get back into the good books. In a nutshell, this lady, Janice, as Max so succinctly put it, take that chance, because life is full of opportunities that go by when you don't grasp them. This is one. Meet up with him. Well, you obviously care for the bloke. Bottom line is, you'll live with regret if you don't actually have a crack and at least see where it takes you.
Well, there you go. Take a chance, Janice. When we come back, we're going to be talking about who's doing all the exercise in Australia if 50% of us are almost obese. When we come back, don't go away. More of Sweet and Sour.
I forgot to say I love you. Should have told her.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. If you'd like to listen to more of Max Kay, you can rush out and buy... You're how old? 14. If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now, which is Sweet and Sour... No, it's not. It's letters at sweetandsour.net.au. Is that right, Paris? Yes, Paris is saying yes. And for every letter that we do read out and discuss on the panel, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of our very gorgeous Natalie O'Shea, we have to say now, because she's got married. And guess what? She got married, and not only did she get married, she and Ben are expecting their first baby.
Oh, this Ben.
She was a Cameron, wasn't she?
She right, Natalie
And now
Cameron.
a Cameron married, a Scottish person married an Irish person.
That's right.
A Cameron and a
there you
she.
go, Nat Cameron.
Oh,
It's all of your dirty washing is being aired on here together with some lovely background music at the same time. And the movie that we're sending you to, courtesy of Natalie, is Here I Am. Anybody heard of it yet?
No.
Oh, that's how
here
fresh
I am,
that
I
would
have
be.
heard it, yeah.
Here I am. You have?
I have it.
Okay. Dear Mitch and Panel.
Is that it playing at the back?
No, that's not it playing in the background. No.
Scottish warbler.
I laughed my head off when I read that medical doctors are prescribing good food and the great outdoors for kids. Don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic. I'm going to burst out laughing in a minute. I can hear Max's album playing in the background.
Still going.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's fantastic. I've long been a crusader for kids to switch off the damn PlayStation and Game Boy and hop on their bikes to ride around the neighbourhood or just run around the park with their friends. Well, folks, it's just not going to happen because some well-intentioned medic writes out a prescription for it. It's just like asking the politicians to pass a law for it. Are they joking? Why should the kids even bother when the adults, the people setting the examples, aren't practicing what they're preaching? Honestly, if we want healthier kids, we've got to lead by example and become healthier and far more active ourselves. We are the fattest we've ever been, with 50% of all Australian adults bordering on obese. Wow. The real question for the panel is, how do we motivate Frank and Francis Fat-Arse from Frankston to become healthier so that their kids will as well? Comes to us from Carl of South Yarra, Victoria. Marcus.
Carl speaks a lot of sense, I have to say, and putting a footy analogy, if you remember John Kennedy, Hawthorn coach, he had a very famous saying, "Don't think, do." And that's exactly applying to our young people.
Very forceful.
Don't think,
Don't think, do. That was for football. But
the whole panel shook then.
I know, that's the footy vibe coming out. But no, in all honesty, as a parent, that's exactly what we have to do. We have to set the example, take the kids down to the park, make sure we get them out and about, because as the parent of twin daughters, I am concerned, I say this with all due respect to Tenille on my left-hand side, that the social media, Max is brilliant, by the way, is turning us into slobs. Our young kids are going to be obese because they are not active enough. It's a major concern for me, so I hope that we can combine the two, the learning aspect of it, but also making sure they go and do the things like kick the footy down the park, play netball, and make sure they're out and about.
What do you do to keep fit?
I go for a run.
Do you?
Not, you
don't take the kids, but you set an example and you go for a run.
Try to be relatively fit from Monday to Thursday, then have a little tip on the weekend.
Monday to Thursday, that's okay. 4 days a week you go for a run.
No, twice, but I don't drink from Monday to Thursday. That's my example day. Friday and Saturday, not a good example.
What does the missus do?
She plays netball and
terrific.
Yeah, so but we all have to do it. Yeah.
Okay. Do the kids get out as much as you like?
They do, but I think as we see with the computers, it just sort of like it's a lead weight around their legs.
What are you actually doing to limit that time that they're spending on the computer? Anything yet?
Well, you're hoping it's all learning at this stage, but obviously once they're allowed on Facebook, it becomes a bit different.
Okay, it's your fault, your generation's fault. You're going straight to the net.
I'm not claiming it.
Yeah,
I just work on it.
So what do we do?
Oh, look, what are they going to do? Next thing, they're going to be giving prescriptions for fat pets. I mean, really?
Good idea.
This... Yeah, you know, I mean, in all seriousness, there's two things here. Doctors, we've got to question why they're giving out prescriptions for that. Have they run out of things to give prescriptions for? So that's a questionable thing. Is it a big money scheme that they're doing? So let's just look at that as one part. The next part is, yes, the parents do need to be more responsible. They do need to switch off the computer and switch off the TV. You know, have days where you just kind of outdoor days.
Question.
Yes.
Wouldn't you rather your doctor gave you a prescription to go out and have a run rather than a pill that would make you happier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'd have to pay for that. Why would I pay for that?
Gee.
Really? You know,
that's what we're going to have to. That sort of thinking is something that we're going to have to try and conquer. Amazing. Maxie, what's your take on this?
Well, look, the thing is, I feel sorry for the doctor. I feel really sorry because every parent knows that their children are overindulging in television, they're overindulging in games and PlayStation and all these other things. What do you do? How do you get to a parent if they don't know it now that we're becoming the fattest alive? I'm very fortunate because I'm an anorexic, but and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I was going to say something next.
But what do you do? This guy, he used a gimmick. He actually wrote a prescription out because there are no other prescriptions. He can't give them anything for it.
Common sense prescription.
Common sense is the thing. But how do you get parents to do it? I don't know how you get parents to do it. If they won't do it now, with all the evidence in in. And if they won't stop eating fast food and shoving all that rubbish down their throats, and they won't do any exercise, then, you know, what else can this doctor do?
Maybe it's a government responsibility again, like Norm.
No, it's not. It is the
It's a
responsibility
personal
of the individual
responsibility.
and of the parent to stop the children doing that. But unfortunately, one of the problems is that the parents are worse than the children sometimes.
We have had anti-smoking campaigns that have been the government's responsibility for years and years.
Well, we're
and we
only-
did have Life Be In It.
Yeah,
But they
they spend millions on these things trying to get people healthy, and it just doesn't seem to
Remember
work.
Norm on the
It's not
couch?
getting
Norm.
through.
Norm,
It is
Norm,
not.
Norm.
I mean, Mark is right. I mean, you've got to run, you've got to do all this. I believe it or not, despite the way I look, I actually work out every day. I do. I've got my own gym at home, and I work out every day because I know that I would be 3 times this size if I didn't do it.
If I didn't, Perrie's got all the answers for us, though, haven't you?
Look, it's survival.
What did you do in 1940, darling? Come on.
I stayed fit, you know, sweeping the floors and tending to children.
And looking after your husband.
Survival of the fittest. I think, you know,
What
the fatties will die out,
Oh.
and the slender people will
The fatties
be
are winning.
victorious.
The fatties are winning. The fatties are almost
But are they, though?
50%
They're
of
hard
Australia.
to
I think if there was a zombie invasion or a zombie epidemic, let's be honest, we can run a bit faster
Yes,
than the
yes.
fatties. I think we've.
I'm with
That's
you.
not
I'm with
gonna-
you, girlfriend.
That's not going to help our next generation.
No, I think that it's great that they're
Kill everybody off this
writing
fat. I don't think so.
writing prescriptions or whatever they're doing for, you know, good food, and it's so much better than the dependency that we're having on drugs. There's a pill for that. There's a pill to fix everything, and I don't think that's right.
Worst case scenario is, you know, in the cartoons where they used to put the stick and like the carrot out the front, just put a block of chocolate out the front and they'll chase after it. Burn
Or
it off.
even using, you know, PlayStation, Game Boy, going on Facebook, it's motivation, a motivational tool for kids. You know, you go to sport, go for a run, have a play, and then, you know, maybe in the evening, you go on Facebook.
Okay.
That's
just
a treat.
shrink the time down. Allocate it. All right. Well, when we come back, I don't know whether we've solved any issues there and how to get people out into the
Run,
parks.
damn it,
You know how
run.
to do that.
I get on my bike
You're
every so
saying
often.
that as though it's a simple case. It's not simple.
Well, don't know. Maybe it is as simple as just getting outside and going for a walk. I don't know.
It is.
When we come back, what is it that makes someone really clumsy? Up here we're talking about, not out here. When we come back, more of Sweet and Sour. Don't go away.
If you don't like my responses, you can go and suck on a lemon.
Hear the pipes are calling, loudly and proudly calling down through the glen.
Here we go.
There where the
Thank you very much, Jess. That's it. We've had our water done. Hi there, panellists. My boyfriend is a Clumsy Club. I've had my water done.
Those haven't broken.
I'll cut yours off in a minute, Max. My boyfriend is a clumsy clod, but I love him clumsy and all. I made the mistake, however, of saying exactly that to my dad, who is the wisest man on the planet. He's rarely wrong with his insights, if ever. He never imposes his opinions, but he always makes me think. This time he said to me to be very careful because clumsiness is a form of self-centred, indulgent behaviour. He said young, immature children are the most clumsy and they're allowed to be as they're still learning. But for a supposedly mature 33-year-old man not to be considerate of other people's space and unaware or perhaps uncaring of his own physical actions is quite indicative of a totally selfish person. Now, of course, I see his selfishness in everything he does. Has anyone ever confronted this issue before? How do I overcome this in my own mind? Or how do I get my boyfriend to grow up? And it comes to us from Tamara of Bentley in WA. Straight to you, Maxie.
I think it's lovely, Tamara, that you respect your father in such a way and you think he's a wise man. In this particular instance, he's talking a load of bollocks. I have never heard such crap in my whole life. How can clumsiness have anything to do with self-indulgent selfishness? It's just ridiculous. I mean, I know somebody who's so clumsy that he selfishly falls and bashes his head on the pavement. How selfish can that be? I mean,
So selfish.
clumsiness is one of these things that some people possess. Sometimes it could be an illness, it could be anything. It is certainly not anything to do with selfishness, nothing at all. Feel sorry for him if he's clumsy. Sometimes.
What is it then, Max?
Well, it's a nature. There are people like absent-minded people. There is the same thing. Some people trip over their own feet, trip over things, bang into things. I think I'm a bit like that, and I don't think it's selfish.
Ah, now
I
we
think
know why
I
he
do.
doesn't agree
I mean,
with you.
if there's a chair sticking
bit like
one
that
leg
too.
out,
next.
one leg out, I'll trip over that chair. If there is a wire to be tripped over, I'll do it.
Could
It's
this
nothing
be
to do with me being selfish.
Could this be because you're not aware of your own physical actions?
No,
As they say.
I'm not aware of the wire that's there. I'm not
Self-centred
aware
and
of
indulgent. I was being nice. Come on,
That's right.
Perrie, in you come.
Look, I think clumsiness is a serious and incurable condition. I'm clumsy. I forget how wide my shoulders are and notoriously walk into door frames and things. And some of my close friends are clumsy folk. And I love them for it. And I think
Tamara has written on a night where we have a panel full of clumsy people, so no one's going to agree with you. There's nothing wrong with your boyfriend, our panellists are saying.
I think aside from the clumsiness, you know, she needs to ask herself, is there enough motivation to stay on the scene? Clumsiness aside, clumsiness, it's endearing, isn't it? It's adorable. They can't help it. They're like
If
a
you're not
puppy
being
dog.
trodden on.
No, I think it's fine.
You
I think
think
she needs
it's
to be
fine?
more
That's right.
accepting.
Good on you.
She's
Be
prejudiced.
accepting of your
She's
clumsy
prejudiced
folk.
against clumsy folk.
Clumsy prejudice. Marcus?
How could you not love Gilligan from Gilligan's Island? I mean, he was the clumsiest
idiot.
person. He was an idiot.
Actually an
He was
idiot.
clumsy. But, you know, people at times, they struggle in the most basic things. Sitting on a chair sometimes, they can't keep themselves in the right position. No, this father's a peanut, and you summed it up well, Max. He's off the mark. Some of the best relationships are involving clumsy wives or husbands or partners, and they keep the humour going in their house. They keep the humour in the relationship, and providing the clumsiness doesn't lead to serious injury, I think we can all have a bit of laugh at ourselves.
Yeah. Final word from a woman, clumsy or not clumsy? Bet you're not clumsy.
I'm not clumsy, no, not by nature. But look, I don't think that says anything about a person's nature, whether or not they're self-centred. I think that's a little bit, you know, it sounds a little bit to me like there's a bit of daddy dearest going on here.
Yeah.
You know, not the mummy dearest, the daddy dearest. It's kind of like you really look up to him. I think it's almost a delusion that you may have.
It is.
So I think what you need to do is actually look at your relationship and write all the things that you like about your boyfriend.
Can I tell you a little clumsy joke just before we finish? I know we've got...
Can Max tell us a little clumsy joke in the 53 seconds remaining?
We were going on holiday and we had the cases out because we were getting up very early in the morning. I put my case in another room. My wife happened to put it at the foot of the bed. I got up in the middle of the night. She heard me getting up and I walked to the toilet, which is our ensuite toilet, and fell over the bloody case. So she saw me walking along and suddenly I wasn't there. And I fell into the case and we laughed the whole night after that. We laughed the whole night. It was ridiculous.
Do you like this letter to give away the pair of limited edition sunglasses courtesy of Almond Trees?
What, the clumsy?
Clumsy?
I think
No.
that-
Give it to the clumsy.
Give it to the clumsy?
Clumsy. Clumsy.
Clumsy? Or
No, I think it's the fatty lady.
fatty or clumsy? Fatty?
Yeah, we've got the fat happening.
We've got the fat happening. Courtesy of Almond Trees.
Yeah.
We've got to disappear. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Tenille. Thank you, Perrie. Thank you, Max.
Thank you, guys.
Thank all of our panellists.
Thank you. Come again.
Thank all of our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night. Bye-bye.